one to the other and back and forth, but it looks like we've got a handful of something. We're going to start with Darkblade, usually the ideal starter here for your first Memento name.
Yep, that's going to go ahead and destroy itself to go search for a spell trap, I believe.
Actually, it special summons a level 3 monster. We're going to have our Mementotlan Anguish, who's basically a Stratos, right? She's going to go ahead and add to the hand that Mementotlan. Ooh, practice this one. Tatsuno Otoshigo. Try saying that a few times fast.
I could never. But here we're going to activate his effect to destroy, and this is the one that can Foolish depending on the amount of levels you have in play. So I believe this will be able to dump up to 2 cards, unless we have multiple level 1s in the deck.
It looks like we're going to pick good combination, Mace, Goblin.
And Gaddock. Those are the 3. Oh, sorry.
No, it's Gaddock. You got it.
That's level 2, so that's 4 total, so you must have targeted Darkblade then for the level.
So it doesn't have to be the exact level, so you could go ahead and pass on 4. It's a really fascinating deck with a lot of wiggle room. So we're going to use Gaddock to go ahead and special summon back the Mace. Mace is going to destroy itself, and let's search for a Memento card. But it depends on what we're going to grab here. There's a lot of different options. We're going for Mementotlan Fusion.
That powerful fusion spell can allow you to, I believe, fusion summon once, and then once again when it's in the graveyard.
Really good stuff. Looks like we're going to go ahead and shuffle back some names here, and that can set you back for Combined Creation, but that is the overall goal. Go ahead and use those fusion spells. So here comes our Twin Dragon.
And Twin Dragon's a really powerful card. Basically, when it gets into the graveyard, you can add any 2 Memento cards from your deck to your hand. I don't even think it's restricted to monsters. I think you can just grab anything.
Monsters with different names, actually.
Okay, great.
But here's the cool thing. It does allow you to destroy itself, so immediately getting more bounce to the ounce, immediately getting those names. And a beautiful quarter-century secret rare, Mementotlan Tekutlika, right, the Combined Creation there.
Everything good?
Yes. And that requires you to have the 5 different names in play.
It does, it does. Sort of a rainbow dragon-like effect of assembling all these different colored crystals. But it looks like we're doing Cross Sheep first.
Any deck that can use a lot of fusion summons really values Cross Sheep for that ability to reuse cards from your graveyard.
Well, and speaking of sheep, here comes Sleepy.
Just 2 sheeps hanging out.
Oh, we're definitely going for the Creation King, aren't we?
Yep, this is a brand new card from the Infinite Forbidden that adds the Memento strategy. This will allow him to take even more cards from his deck and place them into the graveyard. But first, he's going to bring back that Sleepy using the effect of Cross Sheep because a fusion monster was summoned to an arrow that this card points to. And now we're using the effect of, I think, Creation King to send.
Yeah. What's crazy about the Creation King is it can send from both the extra deck and the deck, which allows you to maybe add in different names. So it's going to send 3. Looks like we're going to have our Seahorse here, as he's colloquially calling it. Ooh, and sending the Cranium Burst to the graveyard. So for those unfamiliar, when that continuous trap card is face-up on the field, not only does it make your opponent attack the highest attack Memento, but it also works with the Combined Creation to reduce its attacks, similar to Appaloosa, and negate a monster effect. You can do it up to 5 times with that 5,000 attack.
And then here we see the Memento field spell Mementotlan coming into play. And yes, that Cranium Burst is now in Clifton's hand. His ultimate goal is to get Creation King in play with that card as well to sort of force Tristan to kind of deal with the Creation King. Otherwise, he won't be able to do anything else.
A lot of different effects that you're stacking up here, and really that's what this deck is trying to do, is kind of create this board where every single card has some bigger piece of the puzzle. Right? Individually, cards don't do a whole much, and that's what we saw in Clifton's last featured match. But on this one, it seems like everything is going his way, including getting his powerful field spell.
Yep, so here he's using the effect of the Fusion, I believe, to get another Fusion spell by sending Sleepy to the graveyard.
So I believe what it does is you're going to banish it to destroy a card and then search. And the card we're searching, thought about Anguish, but looks like we're going to go ahead and send, we're sending an Anguish. Now this is a really heads-up play, because if you have all those names and you're sending them back, you want to keep something in the graveyard because the Combined Creation, when your opponent activates the effect during their turn, lets you special summon something. And so Anguish is perfect to let you search out even more cards.
And then Anguish is the one that lets him get Goblin in play because it was sent, correct?
Correct. Oh, but now we're going into Moon of the Close Heaven. It's Fiendsmith time.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. You just get to be able to put out all these bodies, and then all you need is 2 of them. You can go into your Fiendsmith cards and then have even more insulation. I think with this setup, Clifton's going to more than end on the Combined Creation. He might also end on potentially, depending on what's in his extra deck, things like Desiree and maybe even things like IPSP.
We've seen a lot of different ways going here, but it looks like we're going to go start up the Bone Party, so it's party time. We're going to destroy that Mace and special summon another copy of Mementotlan Tatsuno Toshigo.
And then that's just going to be a good link into, I believe, the sequence here.
Just shows you how powerful these decks are together. And there are actually plenty of Fiends in this deck, so...
Randomly, yeah.
Yeah, Memento Goblin, good stuff.
And Gaddock as well, I believe. And then here we're going to go for the Link 4 for potentially Appaloosa here. A nice little 2 material.
We have Desiree and Appaloosa right now that we're in the top 32. Clifton isn't pulling any punches, showing all the things he can do. I think it's naming time.
We got Combined Creation coming from the graveyard, returning Tatsu, returning Mace, returning Goblin, returning Shaleepy, and Twin Dragon.
Smart to leave that Anguish in the graveyard again. What's cool is Mace and Goblin both have discard effects during your opponent's turn. Goblin can turn off targeting, and Mace can actually steal their monsters. So that one monster you needed for your Link summon, you may not get to keep it.
How funny having both Appaloosa and Combined Creation in play at the same time. They both have very similar effects to each other.
And with that Cranium being in the graveyard, the Mementotlan can actually set it during the end of the turn. Yeah, that should have been in the grave.
I dumped it and then you read it, and I think I put it in my hand.
Yeah, it's okay.
So it's going to get set on the field, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But the good news is, yeah, that could be at max 9 monster negates, but here just 7.
Yeah,
just 7.
Yeah, just for clarifying at home, basically when Tristan read the card and gave it back to Clifton, Clifton just put it in his hand. It was supposed to be put in the graveyard. But thanks to the field spell, he could set it at the end of his turn.
Certainly been a long weekend, but again, judges are there to make sure things are fair, and yeah, it's set back to the field.
All right, and here we go. Tristan's beginning his turn, starting with that Dark Beckoning Beast, Chain, Cranium Burst.
So it loses 1,000 and you negate it?
Yeah. Okay. Is it cool if I put a dice on it or no? Come on, spikes. Okay.
Okay.
You can write it down, but you cannot put a dice to keep that. But just for those at home, 2 for Appaloosa remaining, and 4 for the Combined Creation.
Is that only monster effects on the field or any monster effect?
Only field, and I can't negate and chain.
Very, very good questions here from Tristan, making sure he understands how this card interacts with the cards that he has access to. Obviously, Tristan drew a very engine-heavy hand, didn't have many ways to interact with Clifton's board, couldn't really stop him from popping off, but maybe he has enough cards in his hand that can kind of fight through all of this.
Oh, but not this time. He's decided to go ahead and concede. Now,
oh, that's Chamber. That's not a third copy of Impermanence. I thought it was for a second.
It's going to be a little difficult, but here comes the Charming Purulia to make it even harder.
Yep.
And there we go. We're going to send 2 monsters, a Terror Incarnate and a Spirit of Yubel to the bottom of our deck to Fusion Summon Yubel. Sorry, Special Summon Yubel from the deck.
Yeah.
The Phantom of Yubel, they're just gorgeous in Quarter Century Secret Rare out of Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. I think that might be the first Yubel player we've seen flex one of those on the board. But other than that, just 2 set cards, and that's a pass turn.
Heads up play from Clifton to automatically shotgun that Purulia as well.
Can't leave anything at the table. There is no follow-up match after this if you do not clinch it.
I think both these players just drew a lot of their non-engine here. Ooh, a Quarter Century Changer card. That's really cool. That came out in Rarity Collection, right?
I believe so, and it is really showing how relevant a card it is, right? I was worried that maybe we wouldn't see Change of Heart when we talked about all the monster stealing early in the tournament, but here we go again. Change of Heart's here to do it.
Oh boy, and that's 2 monsters, isn't it, Steven? So I think now we're going to enter Moon of the Closed Heaven.
Oh no. Oh yes. Here it comes. You're right. Moon of the Closed Heaven here to show that, yeah, your monster is just as good a material for mine as long as it's effect monster. So here we go again.
Yeah, these Snatch Steal effects have so much value against the Yubel deck specifically because Phantom only interacts with monsters, not with spell cards. And being able just to steal it and go, this is mine now, I'm not going to use it for all my Fiend cards or whatever else is going to be super powerful.
Now, Change of Heart absolutely making Phantom Yubel switch from the red side to the blue side and immediately going back to the red side here as we go ahead and bring out Fiendsmith Requiem, which is going to go ahead and call in the Fiendsmith Engraver.
Now, here's the question I have for Clifton that I'm really wondering about the Memento cards, is that can you Fiendsmith into your Memento engine, or is he stuck just going with like a more basic Fiendsmith combo?
Well,
I'm interested.
He's got to show us, right? That's how we got up here, is by figuring out the difference between those 2 decks and finding out their intersection. But, ooh, we're seeing Necroquip Princess here.
Yeah, this is a really powerful fusion card that can be summoned by using a card that has a monster equipped to it as well. Something that's really useful for players that are trying to dodge other kinds of disruption, but we haven't seen it much this weekend, but it must be really good in this deck.
Seems like it. Definitely has some good recursion there, but we're just going to the battle phase here.
Dealing some damage. I believe Necroquip has 2,000 attack points?
Yep, looks like life points will go down then to 4,200.
Beautiful.
From 2,000 from the Necroquip and 18 from Fiendsmith Engraver.
And here we're going to XZ summon a rank 6. Is this the first Beatrice you and I have seen on stream today?
Yeah, I think maybe it is. So the Lady of the Eternal going to go ahead and put Fiendsmith Engraver in the graveyard, but Infinite Impermanence going to say, that is not happening.
Yeah, I think Clifton was going to go send a Memento card, try to get into his Memento engine now that he's dealt some damage to Tristan, but really heads up play from Tristan stopping that.
Stand by me.
Now we go Tristan, and oh, that's a really good card right there. Opening of the Spirit Gates.
Saw how powerful that was earlier in the tournament. This would be the time to stop it, but it's not happening.
This card does everything you need it to in this matchup.
Bro, you can feel free to grab my card.
Just like, I like that.
He's like, it's so pretty. I want to make sure I take care of it.
Is he reading it, or is he just staring gloriously into how beautiful that card is?
Let's see. I believe we had a Dark Beckoning Beast there off the effect of Spirit Gates to search. And now we're going to summon that. which will hopefully get a Chaos Summoning Beast or another Dark Pickaninny Beast, depending on what's in Tristan's deck.
There are some fun links that you can set up, right? And some fun Xyz monsters, since it is a level 2 monster there, but Infinite Permanence, it is going to stop it too. So nobody is getting any effects to resolve.
There we see a set of the Chamber in hand.
Oh, that hurts.
Or not. Maybe we're going to hang on to this. He's going to choose to hang on to, I believe, Chamber at the Unchained.
Did you cut mine? Yeah.
I believe so.
Wait, everyone making sure.
Spirit Gates are open, but they didn't get much out of them, right? With the Dark Beckoning Beast negated, not a whole lot going on. Ooh, wow.
Summon Goblin. Can Goblin set any monster or just himself?
Yeah, I believe it's 2 Memento cards.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Which means, well, the sky's the limit here.
And Goblin can target himself, so that's a big card.
Oh, using Infinite Permanence. And that does lock down that face-down card. The dreaded bubbles of the Infinite Permanence column.
Tristan is kind of reading that. Clifton, while he does have Beatrice, does not really have ready access to his Memento cards, which if Tristan gives him, he knows how strong those can be. Oh,
but we're still going to try it. We're going to detach the Necroquip Princess, take a quick look at the graveyard to see what names we have in there.
Gaddock works when it's sent, right?
Yeah, but it looks like instead we're going to go Mementotlan Fusion, banish it to go ahead and destroy a card. So goodbye, Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. We'll use that to grab another Memento card. This time it's going to be Memento Bone Party.
And that'll get him that should get him into Dark Blade, which should get him into Tatsu, which should then get him into plenty of names to start popping off.
Well, get out your party hats, because we're going back in the deck here. And our next Mementotlan will be Dark Blade. And this is where the combo really gets started, but he could discard a card to get rid of the opening of Spirit Gates, but looks like he's going to pass on that. So, Dark Blade destroys itself, then we'll see Anguish with its Stratos-like effect to grab another Memento here. Looks like we're grabbing... Oh, okay, Seahorse time. It's Tatsu no Otoshigo.
Nice. And then we're going to be sending Sleepy.
Tristan's heart beating, just a sigh of relief. Oh no, Mementos. This is new and different.
I think all of Clifton's level 1s have already been sent to the graveyard. That's why he's stuck only sending Gaddock and Sleepy. But hey, getting Gaddock to summon is pretty nice.
Yeah. Lets you add something back to the hand. I think we might be trying to set up the Creation King here, or excuse me, Combined Creation.
I think I was. Sleepy.
Sleepy again there. Remember, its quick effect is, well, either player's turn.
Now we can Fusion Summon. Or we're Link Summoning.
Oh, I think we might be doing the Fusion Summon between Anguish and Gaddock for the Twin Dragon. Curious to see if we destroy something, though.
Yeah, Twin Dragon would just destroy itself, right?
Well, it can choose, but it often destroys itself because it has that powerful in-graveyard effect.
Exactly, to get any 2 monsters with different names.
Definitely getting a Duel Academy lesson here in all things Mementotlan.
Yeah, like basically every single card is in itself a starter and then also an enabler, so it's like really interesting to see like the best lines to go for. Clifton is clearly showcasing a masterclass here of how to do the most with the least.
Recently was added to Master Duel there, so hopefully combo players are getting a little bit more practice with the deck so they can see how cool it is, just like Clifton is. Looks like we're going to grab our Memento Mace and Mementotlan. Oh, Mementol, Tekutika, Combined Creation.
Man, Steven, you are a master at saying those names. I would be fumbling about.
Well, it helps that I play Memento at home.
Yes, of course.
But it's such a fun deck, and again, just another thing. And we've seen some great tournament success. In fact, I think the last 3 major Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, there's always been 1 Memento in the top cut. We had 1 in the NAWCQ, 1 in the EUWCQ, and this is the first event since then. And look, here we go again.
Is Clifton the currently highest placing one at top 32?
I think he might be the only Memento player here in the top 32. That's correct. So yeah, this is a real treat to see, and hopefully we get to see more of these fine duelists in the future. But looks like Combined Creation is here.
We're going to be returning a Sleepy, a Tatsu, a Dark Blade, a Goblin, and then I think we're going to maybe put back Gaddock? Yep, we are going to be putting all 5 of those cards back in our deck, just getting all those resources to put back in so we can foolish them later if need be.
That should be game right.
And 5,000 direct. Wow.